This is Between Hook Sets. I'm Jason Walter from In Through the Outdoors with my partner in slime, Kurt Underhill from the Fishing Crew.
What is up, dude?
I think everybody missed my hook set because I started it before the second live said it was okay, which at this point, this is our last broadcast with streaming. I thought, I'm just kind of curious to see if it actually starts on the second. Uncle Lou, how do you do? So, no harm, no foul.
I was wondering if I was lagging that far behind because I wasn't hearing the music or the go live, and I'm like, is my computer that laggy or what's going on?
Okay, so you couldn't hear it. See, I could obviously because I'm the originating computer.
Yeah, I couldn't hear the music, and I'm like, we're not live. It doesn't say live, so I was wondering what was going on, but we don't want to waste too much time tonight.
No.
What a guest tonight. Long time in the industry, but kind of his 2.0 rookie season going for the National Walleye Trail. And, many people out there know his kid, Bo. You should know this guy. If you don't, you live under a rock, and you've lived under a rock for the last 25, 30 years. We're going to get a little bit about his history. It's going to be a fun show. So we'll bring in our guest tonight and cannot wait to have our guest on. And Chad, how are you, buddy?
Hey, guys. How we doing?
Man, how you doing?
Looking good.
Good to see you. Heck yeah. So what do you got there? Something armor? What?
Body
armor.
It's body armor, the alkaline stuff.
Yeah, right. Okay. Is that the Coca-Cola stuff then?
It is. It is, yeah. They put the great big mouth on there for a guy with a big mouth, so you can drink water.
Well, you guys are sponsored by Coke, right? So, we need to give them a little kudos, a little pat on the back.
It's an awesome partnership, and it actually makes me drink more water, which is even better for that. So.
Yeah. What is that thing? Is that 64 fluid ounces? It looks like it's about 2.5 feet tall.
50 ounces, 50.7 ounces. Yep.
That's a lot.
Yep.
Yeah, I drink that smart water with the alkaline in it, and the only complaint I have is they fill it so full. So you're driving down the road, you got to take the cap off and sip the very top of it off. Otherwise, it's all over you. And I don't know how many times I spilt it on me. Like, it's all the way to the brim. There is no gap in the top. That's my
the opposite of a bag of chips, where you open that and you're like, are they down in there?
Right, you got to look down at right. You can yell hello, and it yells back at you 6 times. Yeah, whatever. It's good to have you on. I'm glad that we're doing this in the order that we're doing it in. It was nice to have the youngsters on, and then we had Damon on, of course, and so having you on before the season starts. I mean, perfectly, because you guys are getting ready to leave you're getting ready to start this season. So this is a perfect Wednesday night for this conversation.
Looking forward to it.
So, Chad, for those people that live under a rock and don't know who you are, let's talk a little bit about who you are, where you're from, and then we'll get into your little tournament history, and then we're going to talk about your rookie. Is it your rookie season on the NWT?
I would love to call it that, but I don't think that's going to fly so well.
Have you fished many NWT events?
I have fished a couple, jumped in the Mulbridge one a couple times ever since 15. But, not much. I went down to Chamberlain, fished that 3 years ago or whatever. But my buddies all give me crap that I won Rookie of the Year 5 times back in the old days. So apparently they're not going to let me try to do it again.
So let's tell us who you are, where you're from, and what you do.
All right. I'm Chad Schilling. We're from Akaska, South Dakota up here. It's God's country. We say Akaska. Everything else is just a suburb of Akaska. So we family run operation. My dad started it. I don't even know when. A long time ago. I've been doing it for 35 years. Actually, 36 years this year. So I turned the big 50, and we run it's my son, my daughter, my wife, and me. My dad was there last year, and we run a full service guides. We have 2 different lodges, 5 rental homes, and a motel for rooms. We do all through the season. Start with fishing right now and go right up until we go pheasant hunting and just chase the dream every day. We make Shonda's the boss. That's my wife. She does all the booking, all the important stuff. The rest of us get to live the dream. So
Yeah. So, Chad, like I said, it's going to, I don't know if they're going to get you to claim your rookie season, but go through when did you start fishing tournaments and kind of go through some of your accolades of the tournaments you fished?
Okay, so I dipped my toes in the water in 2004 was the first time I tried the PWT. Prior to that, we had been on a big run. Me and my little brother, Jess, had, I don't know, we had won like 5 or 6 tournaments that last couple of years before we went and jumped into the professional levels and took off and had a pretty good run there. Won Rookie of the Year, like we said, went on. Never was really out of the top 10 in Angler of the Year standings ever when I was in it. Maybe 1 year in 2007, I think. But and then this is terrible, but I think it was 11. I won Angler of the Year in the FLW. Won the AIM Championship in 12, right in there somewhere. The AIM National Championship right here out of Itasca. Had a good run. Fished a lot of tournaments for the few I'm mentioning, but I was consistent. We did that. I brought home a lot of checks.
Yeah, look at that old
wait a minute. But look at the kids, right?
Yeah, that's what I was looking at.
The kids were looking at the cash payout on the MWC. That was probably the last time they wrote a $22,000 check to win an MWC.
You know what's funny about that tournament? We never had a bite in practice. That was a Mulbridge Spring tournament. We never had a bite. It was after it was the spawn. They weren't eating. My tip to win that, my brother-in-law called and said my ex-brother-in-law called and said he was hauling garbage and found fish guts in the dumpster in Pollock. And I was like, well, I know where I'm going. And we ran up there and blew the thing out, pulling crankbaits, lead core off the edge of the Kennel Flats, just like everybody would have known. So, my partner was Corey Fiedler. I said, I know where we're going. He's like, we haven't had a bite. You don't know where we're going. I was like, I know right where we're going. We're going to do good. Yeah.
And so that's a lesson to check all angles for pre-fish.
yeah. Or be dumb enough that someone calls you.
Get your local garbage man out in Erie on the speed dials,
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so I mean, you kind of, I wouldn't say went in hiatus, but more, big tournament stuff, kind of took it off and built up, continued what your dad started with the guide service and just focused on that for, what was the last year you fished the circuit? 12?
15. It was in 15. Yeah. I actually came home. My daughter pretty much caused it. I came home, been on the road for 3 weeks or whatever at tournaments, and I come home and she stood on first base and wouldn't quit waving to me the whole game. And I'm like, no, we're not missing this. So I decided to skip it for the kids growing up. And, the business obviously could use, my wife had to run the whole thing by herself. And I can't believe we're doing this. It's kind of her idea. She's pretty excited to watch us go do it. And man, I love to jump back in. It's just, we're leaving a lot back here. So I got a lot of faith in my boys. You guys know them, Brady and Ben and Hunter and Brian and the whole crew. So their shoulders are going to get big this year. They got a lot of work to do.
Well, I think they can handle it.
I think if you said no, there's a 19-year-old kid that would probably drag you down the highway to get you there with him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And truthfully, I think there are a ton of people from Mobridge all the way down to Pier that are very excited about the fact that you're coming back, 2.0, whatever you want to call it. I think people are pretty excited. I am. I never got to see you win in fish years ago, so I'm excited.
It's going to be fun. I won't do it if it's not. I'm not doing this to make a living. I'm not going out there sponsors have come our way and I didn't go searching for them. And they're awesome. They're people I'd work with anyway, and so I'm not going out there to make a living. I'm not going to, if I don't cash a check, I'm going to still eat when I get home, but I'm going to have fun and get to see I love competition. And what happened is when I quit, I could fish all these local tournaments with the kids. And if anybody's had problems with co-anglers, I can tell them stories with my kids I think we've done every dumb one you can. I think the first tournament I fished with them, they said, Mom said we get to have fun. I said, yeah, well then we're going to swim. And so they literally jumped off the boat for the takeoff and went swimming. And I had to stand there just tapping my toe, waiting for them to get in the boat. So Yeah,
You had to deal with it all.
it's fun though. I mean, them are the best memories a guy has, and we're gonna go make some more this year.
Yeah, so you're gonna go take it on, you and Bo. It sounds like you, Bo, and McCumsey are gonna kind of be the dream South Dakota dream team. We'll call you.
Yep. We're taking Mac. That's our donation to society. We're helping that guy out. We're charity. No, just kidding. Love that man. Can't wait. He's such a stud. We just got to get him away from work so he can take time to do a little fishing.
Yeah, put the phone. Do not ride in the vehicle with him, and put the phone down. Like, if you've ever ridden in the vehicle with McCumsey, it's just not a good life choice.
No. I got 2 partners, and I'm gonna be happy to see them get to each tournament and happy to see them get home. Right. I've said it before. I can make a solid 10-hour drive into 12 hours. I'll stop at every gas station. I don't look at my phone. I drive slow. I am the old man on tour, and those 2 are going to get there. If it's a 10-hour drive, they'll make it in 8, and they'll never. Yeah,
it's going to be new sets of tires after every stop for them, and you're going to get 2 seasons out of yours.
Oh yeah, at least.
Yeah, so you're diving into this, you're heading out, but you, like I said, when you did this back in the day, and I don't know if everybody saw the video that I happened to catch a conversation and made Chasen come over and video you guys, but you were 2D back in the day when you did this stuff. Now obviously Bo is, I would count him as one of the masters in the live scope game, and you're not far behind him, but now it's a different game. I mean, last time you probably fished a tournament on Erie, you were packing crankbaits. I
am actually filling a tote with them, and it's going in my back seat. It's not even going in the boat. If I have to get them out, it'll be like the MWC. I'm going to get them out the night before the tournament and say, I guess we're in a lot of trouble. That's the plan there. But what we said about the scoping, I am so jacked with Dylan Nutt and all these young kids. I mean, I'm the opposite of the old guys that are complaining about the whole scoping and whatever they want to call it. I want to make a name for the old guys. I mean, instead of us complaining, why don't we practice and try to kick their butts a little? I mean, that's all I want to do. I love my kid, but I want to kick his butt. Like, everybody's counted me out. Like I said before, all the sponsors call. They want to talk to Bo. They ask me for his number. Don't want to talk to me. So us old guys need to band together. McCumsey and I, there you go. We're gonna get these old guys back on top with just winning instead of complaining. We can beat them at their own game.
Yeah. Johnny Candle says, good to see Chad back out there. Incredible competitor and a better person. Best of luck and enjoy your time with the kids.
Man, I got good stories. If we start telling stories, but Johnny had a good one out. We were out at Escanaba, and I just won. I might have been angler or rookie of the year, and I didn't know Johnny real well yet. And I grabbed my co-angler, gave him a hug, and Johnny yells across, I'm revoking your man card if you guys keep hugging over there. And I was like, what are you talking about? And then, I wasn't smart enough to figure it out until he said it again, and then I was laughing pretty hard. But thanks, Johnny. I appreciate it. And, man, we look forward to it.
Oh, geez. You got a little chirper coming in there. Yeah. All to be 19 again, right?
It's I don't want to be. I don't know if I could live through it twice. I just I look forward to watching this year. It's the good thing for him is he has been to a lot of big bodies of water. We went to Green Bay for 3-4 times. I remember the first time I pulled out on Lake Erie. What do you do here? And with what he's done here, this first one isn't going to be a big shock. He's going to burn a lot of fuel and going to find the right fish, and we just got to put him in the boat. So it's going to be fun. It's a great way to start it out, and for me too. I've never been more relaxed going to one. We got all the equipment. Oh, 1920. Yeah, these guys are funny. Yeah, but no, we're really excited.
So 50 is fun, right? I mean, being 50 is fun. I wouldn't want to go back either. I just turned 60 myself. But do you think your age is going to change how you look at things and how you actually fish and go about the tournament from 15, 20 years ago? For sure. But not being like, I shouldn't have wrote the checks for the tournaments back then. It was a very stupid business decision that got lucky and worked out. I could have just taken them to the horse races, but that part's going to help. But
Yeah, I just don't feel I'm going to spin out. Sure, we all do. You're going to have them, but it's not going to be epic. I'm not going to worry about things. I mean, it's still, in the end, it's fishing. You know what I mean? There's a lot of luck that comes involved. And when I'm having fun, I tend to be luckier. There's other guys who can blow up and recover in 30 seconds. I'm not that guy. If I blow up, it's going to take me an hour to get my head back right. So I'm going in to have fun. And man, I'm excited to compete. What we did talk about being 50, like I've put in the work this year. Like my best year when I won Angler of the Year is probably the most fit I'd ever been in my life. And man, I'm running, I'm doing burpees, I'm doing all this stupid crap. I'm stretching, I'm just doing stuff to make so my body don't set me back. And I'm not gonna actually. If I would have done this for the last 10 years, I would have thought 50. I mean, I've never felt better. And man, at 40, I didn't know if I'd make it another couple of years. So it's I've done that part. I've done that part of the homework. I mean, and just getting the boat ready ahead of time. I see a lot of guys are rigging their boats now. Swenson Brothers down there in Chamberlain had all ours ready a month and a half ago, So when we have had the right weather, which has been a good winter for that, we've got to put plenty of time in them and just make sure we don't have any bugs. Those guys down there take such good care of us. I mean, it's amazing. They call and I'm like, hey, I want to get it in. Well, we'll see you in the morning, and we show up and they get it taken care of. And I watch people walk in the door, and that place takes care of people. And I can't say enough about the Swenson Brothers down there.
Yeah, Benji and Greg down there, they are. I mean, I hung out with them a month ago out in Rapid for a whole weekend at the sports show. And I've known them a little bit, but really got to know them out there. What good people. I mean, like, I don't care where you're coming from. You got a problem, they want to fix that thing now. And they don't care what, they don't care what you're driving. They want to be. They want to take care of people.
It don't matter where you bought it or where you're at. If something happens and you're near them in Chamberlain, them guys will take care of you. The whole crew is just amazing from top to bottom. So.
Yeah. So, I mean, going into it, like we had Bo on a couple weeks ago, and I asked him a question if he's going to take trolling rods. He said, absolutely not, but Dad'll have them. So are you packing extra trolling rods for Bo, or are you just going to figure it out?
No, this is learn by lesson. I mean, I will give advice and do my best, but I don't know how many of you have dealt with 19-year-olds. You don't steer them. You just kind of, you hurt them a little. You kind of you bump them in the right direction. And I haven't been right on anything I've said in the last 2 years, so I don't know why I'd be right this time. So we'll see.
100% home run. I mean, we're all kind of a 17-year-old chasing. You got a 19-year-old.
We'll be 19 in June. Yeah, same thing. It's your idea. Whatever. Okay, yeah. I'm glad you came up with that. So, okay, we mentioned rods. Let's go back to 2012, 2015. The rods, the line, the fluorocarbon, the mono, compared to today. I mean, what really is different, or is there that big a difference?
Everything, I would say. It seems like it. Back then, actually after the Tournament World is when I learned this springtime jigging and stuff with the. A good buddy of mine just kicked my butt, this Delvin Worth from right up in our area here. I call him the old guy because he's got me by a little bit, but we were out in the Morrow River, and I think he was up on me 5 fish to none, and we were throwing garage sale mono back then. That's what he was kicking my butt with, and we both kind of started after that. I obviously switched to some mono, and then we started playing with the fluorocarbon, and like today I was throwing Sunline Sniper, that FC Sniper. It's a fluorocarbon. I mean, I don't. It's something about that line in the springtime. I caught fish on fire or on Sunline today on the braids, on the All Might and stuff like that. But something about that. I don't know if it's the fall. That's the good thing about me. I don't spend any energy trying to figure out why they bit it. I'll just keep throwing it until I need to change. And for some reason, that's a big deal. And that stuff we didn't even know about back then. I was in several tournaments where I wished I would have known that. Lead core, man, I won so much money on lead core back then. I mean, that's what it was. Now we're running these heavy braids with 3-ways and weights. And I mean, I get out my lead every once in a while, but it's not very often. And we just don't troll much anymore, but the customers like it. Heck, I like to go out and turn on the music and actually troll and have a relaxing day too. So a lot has changed. The rods we're using, I mean, everything we were using the Pro Tackle, John Bader back in the day. He had them 12-foot rods. Everybody thought they'd never seen anything like it, and now we're using 14-foot rods and everything else. So Denali is what we're running for our trolling rods, and I wish they got more use because trolling's pretty fun too. But our Denali, all them trolling rods that they make, actually Traver Deagle turned me onto it about 5-6 years ago. He goes, "Have you ever tried the Denali trolling rods?" I was like, "No, I actually work with that company. I've never tried them." So I ordered a bunch and haven't turned back since. So no, everything. But like when I leave the dock on most days, Bo's got 35 rods. I'm going to have 5 or 6. That's it. I don't need to fight through a rod locker. I'm still young enough. I can tie a knot fast. I don't like a bunch of stuff on my deck. I don't want to worry about a co-angler and waves stepping on stuff. And I keep it pretty simple. I'm the professional at the KISS method, the keep it simple, stupid. And I do that better than I should probably. So.
Well, that's the age and the experience, right? And the know-how and the knowledge.
Well, I hope so. We'll see. We're going to see. Like I said, we're teeing it up for the old guys here, and if it works out, we're going to look pretty smart at the end. So.
Yeah. Well, let's get through a few comments here and questions. So this Casey asked, "Are you running a tiller?" But then he meant to say a kicker or going all scoping.
We're going all scoping. We got the power pole or the I'm brain dead. The power poles with the brakes.
The power brakes.
Yeah, the power brakes. No kicker this year at all. If I do troll, these new lithium batteries and then Minn Kota trolling motors or the Garmin trolling, whatever one you want to run, they can pull you 4 or 5 mile an hour. We know that's how Bo hunts. I mean, it's ridiculous when he's chasing them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a kicker on the last 3 boats. I think I started them each about 2 times a year. So no,
mainly just to run them.
Yeah, and that's what it is too. Make sure the gas don't get bad.
So then we got a question. What's your thoughts on the new Gin Clear?
Yeah, you're gonna have to explain it to me. What's the Gin Clear?
I think that's
it's the new Berkeley line.
The new Berkeley line. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, haven't tried it. Yep.
The 6-pound green XL. 9 out of 10 fish have no problem with the price of the lure. Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, going back to like you and Macumsey, you weren't even talking about side scan back then. You were using 2D, and let's talk a little bit about how you still use 2D. And we had that video that got put out during the Gov Cup, but let's talk a little bit about the 2D. And you guys were basically kind of scoping.
Yeah, we were
targeting 2D.
We should say targeting fish with 2D rather than So explain that and what you guys were kind of explaining at the Gov Cup.
I'll promise you, Macumsey got me turned on to it. I'd always hunted fish with the 2D. You can drive fast and you can see them at speeds. But he took me out one day and taught me with the right settings. You can tell a walleye from a drum, from a carp at 8 to 12 mile an hour. We're doing it that fast. And how our transmissions, they transmissions, but we would drop them big motors in reverse and cast right in our, in our cone right behind the boat. And back then the fish just didn't get to see the lures like they do now. I say our catch rate was 60-70% on them fish we casted back at. I mean, driving that fast, and you just tell your co-angler to don't look at the windshield or you're going to eat it, or the tiller, he'd be laying up by the trolling motor when you hit her in reverse. But you'd throw in reverse and pitch that jig right back on them, and you were just seeing 20 to 30 times more fish than anybody else was. Well, now you do that, and fish will come look at that jig wrap and swim away as fast as they can. It was just a different time back then. The fish just, I don't know, they were dumber. I guess that's what it is. And so that's how we used it the most. Like, we hunted and then casted in the prop wash.
But you're still a big 2D guy, right? I mean, 2D is not out of your question.
I have 2 different transducers on the bottom of my boat, 2D, just in case one goes out. I don't care if you're fishing trees, if you're fishing I can find trees that exactly what I was doing today. I can find trees at 42 mile an hour. I can be driving down the lake. I can see which ones are the tallest at 42 mile an hour. Everybody else has to slow down and find them with their scope. Nah, I've been through 7 sets of trees by the time they do that. I can find bait and fish on the Great Lakes. I think what I've seen today, it'll be 35 plus mile an hour. I am not going to be able to tell you exact what size they are, but I'm going to get between the areas where there are no fish fast, real fast. And I was tweaking and dialing today, and man, I really think I'm going to see them fish at 40 mile an hour, but it'll be, I'll have to see when I get there. You know, I was seeing branches and small brush and stuff going that fast today.
So what units are you running then to do that?
So I run the Lowrance on that. I run the Lowrance 3-in-1, and then I got the little skimmer we've had on the boats. For some reason, I swear to you, that thing was good back in the day, and nobody puts them on. They like throw the box away with that on there. I have both, and depending on the day, the water, I switch back and forth from the 3-in-1, then adjust my kilohertz just to get to which ones. To be honest, I can't tell you what number I'm running on. I just keep switching until one looks right. And if it doesn't look right, I switch until another one looks right. It's kind of like the Garmin. Guys will say, I'll give you my settings. My settings are different. You know, not a lot, but every lake I change things up a little bit. And it seems like different clarity of water, whatever. Something changes and I change it a little bit. Maybe it's just my eyes. But I'm constantly adjusting that stuff as simple as you can. You know, I don't go into doing the data and all that crap. I just switch the options that it gives you and go with the one that works the best.
So
Yeah,
and then
that makes sense.
you're also running a forward facing in the center of your boat pointing forward for similar situation, right? I mean, obviously can't go as fast, but explain this a little bit.
So yeah, I run the Garmin's then on the other side, the Lowrance for the mapping and the 2D sonar. And then I run Garmin's for the forward facing. I have one on my transom. Facing forward. If you live on a river and you don't have that, you just like to eat props, because I have not touched a prop since I put that on there. When you get in the areas where you're worried, you slow down and you can just drive watching where you're going to run out of water. Trees, stumps, all that stuff. I mean, sure enough, I'll hit one this year probably just because I said that I haven't hit them. But
right.
And then for hunting fish, in wide open, no brakes, 12 to 15 mile an hour. I got it set up where my forward facing, I can read it. I can't give you exact sizes, obviously, but I can tell when they're small and when I need to turn around. I can tell those two things. So I can see bait so easy.
I think last year I ran into Tom Wynn and I was telling him about what you guys are doing, and he's like, you could just see his brain working. He's like, well, I've never done that. I don't get it. And I'm like, well, they're doing it and they're going 12 to 15 miles an hour. And he goes, well, what are they looking for? And I'm like, I don't know if they're finding bait or they're finding pods of fish. And then he's like, because they can't tell the size at that fast. No. They're not gonna be able to pick that fish out. And I'm like, no, I think it's more for hunting to get into the grounds. And then they fine tune everything on the bow. And
I mean, again, you can find rock. The thing about it is you don't get to turn your head. Like I like the 2D because you run over it, you're watching where you're going, you look down, it's still on your 2D for the live going 12 mile an hour.
Gone.
Yeah. Pay attention. It's always good to have your partner watching for you because you're staring at your screen all the time.
It doesn't have an alarm when there's a boat in front of you.
Yeah, no, we need that. We need beep, beep. Yeah.
Okay, so then how many screens are you using? You've got them all popped up, so you're always looking at 2D even when you've got live going, so you're seeing everything then, right?
Yeah. When I'm hunting behind the console, I did go to just 2 screens up front. Bo told me that last year and I didn't really believe him, and then actually watched a Joe Rogan podcast where he said the human brain can only receive so much information at one time, and if you start trying to think you're not taking too much, and it'll take away from what you need to concentrate on. And of course he was applying that to some real life stuff. I'm applying it to fishing. I'm like, I'm not that fast. I better keep it simple. And I have one screen that I count on. That screen's on its own battery, on its own charging system. That one is my bread and butter, and that's where I expect to make my money. So I have it actually going to the 9217. The big, I didn't go as big as, McCumsey. McCumsey's old, so his is like a 52-inch up there. His boat's going to go 7 mile an hour because of how big a wind drag he gets off the spring grass.
I saw his new setup. You got a 92-22 on the front, and he would have put a 92-92 on there if he could have.
So you're running the 16 then?
I'm running the 17.
17, okay.
Yeah. We got beat down building us a bracket to hold it in because the 92 series, when you get up there, they didn't come with gimbal brackets. There's not even screws in the side. So
really,
well, they're built for ocean boats to flush mount in the councils.
Oh, sure.
I just was in Florida. I was in like 4 different ocean boats, and nobody's got over a 10-inch. What the world do they need them for?
Yeah,
Give them to the walleye guides. Give it no.
You know that forward-facing sonar, Garmin designed it for collision detection in boats in the ocean. That's what it was designed for. It was never designed to fish with. Originally,
I did not know that. So.
Yeah, so it was designed to do collision detection in ships and oceans, is what it was meant for. Which why you see why they have the 62 series transducer that shoots 1,800 feet. Mm-hmm. It makes sense, right? So that's kind of where they came out with it originally for, and then they realized, holy crap, we can see fish swim, and we better take this to the fishing market and today. But so like that. We talk about your old school technology meeting new school. Does Bo do the same stuff? Is he looking at 2D as much as you, or is he on the bow of that boat? If that boat could run 20 miles an hour and forward, he would do it.
I think that's where he's keeping it simple in his realm. He's never really dialed in, never had to dial in the 2D. I mean, he's really good with side scan, really, really good with that. I mean, his first boat, his first pontoon he bought had a Hummingbird side scan, and if it didn't have that, he could have well had a stick and string holding it over the side. Second depth. He lived by that graph, and that's all he had, and he caught the heck out of him with that and got really good with it. But once this came out, I think he can. Well, I know he can. These kids can do anything. I mean, they can never see your phone, take it, and show you 10 apps you didn't know was on there. So I'm not worried about if he gets to the point where he thinks needs to dial that in. He's probably at home right now watching a YouTube video and have it better than me by the time we get done with this thing. So they just adjust so fast.
So are you using much side scan anymore?
I will when I love it in rivers. I mean, it's and the Great Lakes, obviously, but the Great Lakes we're chasing fish in different parts of the water column. So there I'm gonna hunt fast and scope, and then but on rivers, if I only had to pick one, I'm not even taking my forward facing. I'm taking my side scan. Period. That's it. You know what I mean? I'll never forget the first time I ever used it. We were up in Bismarck, just south of town. And me and my dad I bought a boat from the Linders. It was Al Linder's camera boat. And I'm pretty sure they had drug it down the road without a trailer. I mean, it had been on every rock pile. And I bought it from Al. And I mean, it was just, fishing out of the Legends boat. Well, that thing was beat up. It probably looked like Paul Steffen's boat most years. But anyway, my dad and I, we put on that boat because we got it, it was early spring, so we put the side scan on there, and I drive by this sandbar where we always catch fish, and I'm like, look at all the rocks, Dad. No wonder they're on that. And we went to casting and caught the heck out of the fish, and he's like, we coming back tomorrow? And I was like, yep. So we would just leave that boat in a ditch somewhere or whatever, just park it. We didn't care. Somebody stole it, it was so beat up, and people would usually leave money for us, just because they felt bad. But we would, the next day we get up, and I'm driving up there, and I was like, well, I'll find them rocks, and we'll go. There were no rocks. And that's when I was like, well, that's what a walleye looks like. I didn't even know them were walleyes I was looking at. And after that, I was like, man, if people don't figure this out, they're going to be so far behind. And now oh, yeah. The legend speaks in.
The legend chimes in.
Yeah.
I mean, and just learning that quick, right? Like you could have went out there and been like, oh, them are rocks all the time, but then you adapted, and that was, that's kind of like Bo and Live Scope, right? Like he's learning what everything is out there and all that different stuff in real time now, and he's processing it where we're like, oh, cool, fish swimming, and Bo's like, no, that's a carp, don't cast at it,
Yeah. That's another thing. Like what we've said about the live scope, and it's been repeated. The only way you get good at it is putting in time. Mm-hmm. And I can tell you, everybody thinks Bo just started fishing when the live scope came out. He started. But I'll tell you, every night after him and Ben would get off work, they would jump in my pontoon and drive all the way to the 212 bridge every night to jig the pillars. And I'm like, you little turds. I mean, I was buying the gas. It was luckily for me, Bo is still running that boat. So the thing's got like 1,600 hours on it. And he deserves that because he put most of them on it. So.
I mean, I talked to you last week when you were coming back from the Classic and you were going to fish Table Rock down there. That's why we couldn't get you on. You're going to be driving back. But, we talked about that. We talked about the whole people trashing Dylan Nutt and, trashing these young guys for scoping. And, I kind of took one out of your book when you said it, and I guarantee you're going to agree with me when I say this. The only thing you gave Bo was time.
Yeah.
You've never given Bo anything. He's had to work for everything in his life. I mean, he's a great kid. I mean, I wouldn't guess he's 19 years old when you talk to him, right? Like, I mean, you have adult conversations with a 19-year-old. I remember calling him the one day and he's like freaking out because he bought a new house. Like, he's like, I have to, or my dad was going to buy it and I wasn't going to let that happen.
That was the exact conversation.
But you think about that and they bashed him. And I said, if you want to bash him, Johnny Candle, I read Johnny Candle's post and he summed up perfect. Yeah. So many things had to go right. Yeah. But the only thing that kid did than everybody else was outwork.
Yep.
Nobody put more time on them lakes than he did. He spent 5 straight weeks there, right? Yep. Like, I mean, it just completely, take the scope away, whatever. He still would have been up in the top by the amount of time he put on the lake.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's hard for me to swallow. Just the reaction, like, and it's my generation and older is who's doing it. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's no 30-year-old kid saying these guys didn't deserve it. It's so frustrating. You've never hung out with my wife a lot, but you've never heard anybody talk less trash or be mean to somebody than my wife. And when she heard that stuff, she goes, well, guys, this is how it works. Either figure it out or get out of the way. And that's what we got to do. I mean, it's what I love is nobody's mad at all the young guys beating up the MMA guys. Nobody's mad at all the football players taking away all the positions when they get older. It's part of the game. Right. We're in a sport where we can compete. We don't have to physically beat these guys. We can just go work hard and do it, and it's possible. But sitting on a keyboard and bashing some young kid because he just lived everyone's dream. Oh my gosh. Yeah. You know what? I hope there's a good saying where you don't take criticism from someone you'd never ask advice from. He needs to go with that because he wouldn't have asked advice from any of them guys that are writing that crap on him.
Yeah. And it's interesting too, because anymore, I used to just get livid and I started making comments, and anymore, there's one comment: grow up.
Yeah.
You're telling a 50, 60, 70-year-old to grow up.
Yeah.
But that is truthfully, I mean, it sums it up right there. Just grow up.
And there's some big names just throwing jabs, just little jabs. And I'm like, why? What? Yeah, no, it's jealousy has got to be the only thing there is there. And and I props to that kid. Like he said, they made a big mistake. They let me in. That's what he said. And if people think he's cocky, he better be. You got to be confident. Confidence wins. And man, it was a dream to be there to watch it all go down. And what an experience. And he made my first Classic memorable. That's for sure.
Well, you think about this, Chad. Like, go back in your time and. We didn't have the internet to hear it all, but when you started in, the early days of the tournaments, them old guys were saying the shit about you pulling cranks.
Yep, sure. Exactly. Yep. We won. We won 4 tournaments in a row down in Chamberlain, 4 in a row, and the Cedar Shores was the last one we won. Me and my brother, and we come in, and one of the locals walked up and they said, "Chad, everybody says you're cheating. We're at weigh-in at 11 o'clock in the morning." A no-call tournament, you bring in your top 8. At 11 o'clock, I ran from the Platte Bridge back. So I didn't fish very long. You know what I mean? And I said, so we're cheating. I have 3 fish in there that I wished would have been bigger, but I decided to keep them. How about every boat that comes in exactly at 4 o'clock with their 8 perfect fish? They must have all caught their last fish at 8 o'clock, but we're the ones cheating. You guys are, whatever. That's not the part of fishing we want to talk about. We don't want to throw shame. I mean, be happy. Somebody wins, be happy. Me and Bo might never cash another check. We're still going to have fun, and we're going to cheer on the next guy. So
right.
Just if you want to get mad at yourself and go fuel the fire and go try to be better.
Yeah. Well, we got a few comments we want to get to here. Gene Cox, Jason, go ahead and read them. Take a drink here.
All right. On the Great Lakes, how deep are the fish there? Does Great Lakes walleye get bigger than here? Good questions.
So, yeah, great question. Where we're fishing on the western basin of Erie, it's been a little while and I'm old. So 32 to 35 feet is about what you find for depth. If you get over east, you'll find some deeper water. The average is Erie's like the body of water that you can't explain. I mean, they can't kill enough of them. There's insane amounts of 8 to 10 pound. Well, I shouldn't even say that. 6 to 10 pound walleyes. And it just depends on every year what year class is strong. It's just a revolving door of the next year class coming in. It's I'll tell you a quick story about my second year ever there. We had a nor'easter for like 10 days in a row. Well, the commercial boats couldn't get to their nets up in Canada, I think they're all up in Canada. I'm not positive on that, but I go running out past the Bass Islands and I run into a half-mile long slick of dead walleyes. I would say the smallest one was 7 pounds. The biggest ones were 10 pounds, 7 to 10 pounders. And I'm not talking hundreds. I'm talking thousands of dead walleyes. And they got out to their nets. They were dead. So they just dumped them out and threw them back in and catching that many more. And we never stopped catching fish. It's one of them fisheries that it's incredible. I mean, you watch people just cleaning 6 to 8 pound walleyes. The tournaments out there, they kill them all and donate them. And the next year it's better than it was the year before. So it's incredible.
Yeah, it's an unreal fishery, and like you said, I can't remember the last. I don't even know how they guess 30-some million walleyes or whatever they. Yeah, I'm like, they're not from South Dakota. Counting that high. I don't know how you figure that out, but yeah, Lake Erie's such a special place. But he asked if they're bigger than here, and I would say no.
No, they're not. Right. For a fish of a lifetime, Oahe is the spot. Well, Columbia River, but I mean. It's just this is a place everybody goes. So
yeah.
Erie was magic, right? But then all of a sudden, Oahe came alive and just kind of kicked Erie in the ass for fish of a lifetime.
Yeah,
he got in Bucket E.
Fantasy questions. I bet Chad has no idea who's even in Bucket E, and I know I don't because I haven't set my lineup yet.
Do that tonight. Oh, you know what, Chad, you should mention, too, that when you're fishing in Erie, you're mostly fishing pods of suspended walleye. You're not fishing structure, right?
So, yeah, we run around and we find them. And what's kind of cool is a lot of times you can put in a little bit of a pattern. They're everywhere. You seriously find fish everywhere. But sometimes the big ones will be against the bottom. Sometimes they're in the middle. And more than finding a point or you find watercolor and you find – where them bigger ones are, and then you try to target them. I mean, it's a lot of. I got stories that go on and on how I had these dumb little things I did and I believed in them. Looking back on them, they're the most ridiculous things, but I had it in my head it was going to work, and it did all the time. And Jason Shakurt and all my partners from the old days can tell stories that. Yeah.
I'm telling you, fishing is 80% mental, 20% actually fishing, right? It's more mental than anybody will ever give it credit for, right? You lose a tournament up here well before you ever put your boat on the water or win it, right? Right. But so going to the stop this year, obviously we're coming into your backyard.
Yep.
But other than Mobridge, what are you looking forward to on the circuit this year?
Bo said it, and I'm going to repeat it. Mobridge is my scariest one. It's not a great time of year for us. It can be, if things get moved ahead. I actually Mobridge, and when you're at home, trust me, my wife says you're going to practice, but I get 8 to-dos. I get things to do every day, and it's not like being on the road. I would much rather break down a body of water where I have nothing else to do than be in my backyard where I got a sink went out of room number 6 and stuff like that. So everybody's laughing saying Shonda fixes it anyway, the guys that know me, but seriously, the drive and getting away from home, I'm looking forward to that more than Mobridge. Mobridge is going to be, it could be absolutely a barn burner. I'm not sure what we're going to see. We're going to see big fish. We know that, but there's a good chance everyone's going to catch them, and there's going to be multiple ways to catch them. So
you were out today. What was the water temp?
Seen 40 degrees back in the Morrow, 39, 38 in the middle. The the Morrow had ice on it 4 days ago. I tried to get back there, and it was blocked right on the mouth. And today we were able to get back in there, and man, do them fish look good. They are finicky. I mean, I see why we don't catch them ice fishing no more. They're everywhere, and if you don't absolutely drive them nuts, they won't eat. And when you catch them, they are so fat. I mean, they are the fattest fish. It is. It was a grinder today. It was so much fun working like that. But ice fishing is like, I don't know how you ever catch them when you drill a hole and put a line down there and you can't move and chase them. So.
Well, so you think, coming home and fishing your home body of water, your graph is littered in waypoints, right?
Yeah.
You guide on that water from now till into hunting season, right?
Yeah.
So how do you, you've done it before. You fish Mobridge tournaments, you can shut it off. But how, I always tell people, just because he guides out there, it's two different fish you're fishing for.
Yeah.
But how does the guy? How do you think Bo's going to react to shutting off the waypoints? Or is he in a different? I mean, he doesn't believe.
A different world. It's
it's a different mentality. The old school mentality of, I got these waypoints. I caught him on here 5 years ago. Is now out the window because he doesn't even care about a waypoint.
You don't care what he did an hour ago. He really don't. And man, I love throwing jabs at this guy. Back when I traveled with Paul Steffen, he would give you his waypoints at the end of the day, and you could literally watch your graph smoke. That's how many he'd put in his graph because it was genius because he had every rock, every stump, he had all that stuff. Bo don't care. He really don't care. He don't care where he caught him yesterday. He's gonna go hunt. He's gonna go hunt, and I'll guarantee he's one of the best at it. He knows how to find them. So that part he couldn't jump in at a better time because I can remember being overwhelmed. Everybody on this tour has done it for 20, 30 years, and they know all these spots, And I think that's a lot of the animosity with these old guys, especially the bass guys. They've been killing these guys for years because they knew the 3 rocks and the 2 logs and 2 docks they were going to cast under. And now these guys can go shake a minnow out in the middle and beat them, and they don't need to know all them secrets. And I think it levels the playing field, and they think it's cheating. I just think it makes it fair to everybody. Everybody can.
My statement I hate that I hear all the time from people. I hear it in the walleye world, the bass world, everywhere. These guys are catching fish we've never caught before, and I'm like, no, they're not. No, they're not. They're just catching fish in different spots than we've ever caught them before.
Yeah. And
big fish he caught out suspended is going to move to the shore to bed for bass, right? It's going to go up there to bed. It's going there. He's not catching a different fish.
No.
He's just catching it he's beating it before it gets to the bed, right? That's all he's doing. So that fish is still, we're not catching different fish.
I've been doing the argument for just what you're saying there. I've been doing the argument with that, and these big fish die. That's been a big conversation. I've seen a couple guys mention it. Oh, these big fish die. So I said, for the sake of argument, I don't agree with that. If you know how to handle the fish, just get them back. You know what I mean? Don't mess around with them. Just get them back and they'll make it. But if you, and my argument for the whole thing was, they're killing too many fish. We can't be targeting these fish. Why do we have them? The good thing about today's fishermen, they want to do the best. I mean, we're not in the old days where people want to fill a truckload full of dead fish. You know what I mean? People just don't do it anymore. There's a few rare cases where that's happening. Everybody wants the best for the fishery. You used to stand out when you were letting fish go. Now everyone does it. So why do we have these big fish? Do we want them just to go lay on the bottom and die? Because that's what they're at that age. You know what I mean? They're there. And they're a resource that's there. I want everyone to do their best. We kill a few every year doing what we do. I would do any amount of research for them to show them that most of them fish live a very, very, very high percentage, which gives another person a chance to catch a fish that's probably going to be dead in a year and a half, 2 years.
Yeah. We had Mark Finsel on last year and trying to get him on this year, talk about the lake again. But, he's like, okay, would you rather have somebody harvest it and enjoy that fish, or would you rather have it die after spawn because it's like your grandma giving birth? She's not going to have a good quality of, if she makes it through, she has a pretty crappy quality of life, right?
So that's what I said too. I told the guy, the guy that was arguing with me the most, and he's a great friend of mine, always will be, but he said, I said, so what fish do you want in the system? Like, what is your goal? Which are the ones you want for spawning? And he was like, 19 to 25 inches. I was like, we don't even turn around to look at them. We drive away from them. And anybody who's good at doing this, we're not targeting the spawners. You know what I mean? We're targeting the ones that are past it.
And you're not even, and that's the other thing I argue with people, they're killing all these big fish. If you pull crankbaits through there back in the day, you kill, you're killing fish.
No fish died when everybody could crank them. That's, I guess, But
you know what I mean? Like your Bo is now picking out that fish he's throwing at. And he's not throwing at that 25-incher because he knows that's not the fish he needs, right? Yep. So you're targeting the fish you need.
Yep.
And you want.
And that is their argument. That's me doing it. I don't believe they die. I've watched these fish go back and blow up schools of bait. A fish that's dying doesn't swim back, go chase through the trees, and then go shoot up at another. I followed them for a half hour, 45 minutes after I caught them. They didn't go lay on the bottom and die. That's what they always say. They won't lay on the bottom and die. Well, get better with your forward facing, and you'll see they don't. I mean, plain and simple, you will see they don't. Them fish are not dying.
Okay.
Now, if you drop them 3 times on your floor, hit them off the side of the boat, hold them up for 24 pitchers, dead. I'll call it from here. I'm a veterinarian, then they're dead.
Yeah.
If you get them back and take care of them, a high percentage of them.
So, you ended up second in the Governor's Cup with your daughter this year. Would you say you guys killed more big fish getting to your fish this year now? Or did you kill more back in the day?
Definitely back in the day. And I heard another argument, and I got to throw out props to I'll start out with the Governor's Cup is one of you want to talk about tournaments I look forward to? That one's right there. In a totally different realm, a totally different world, the AFCO Throwdown, the one we do here at home, I've always said I'm going to have fun fishing a tournament. I've never been able to do it. I'm always a happy guy, but I do take it pretty serious when the tournament. I've never fished a tournament where you can screw around, have fun. I never took off at the right time either day last year. I was like, why would we go fight the crowds? Just let everybody go. And you don't have to put together a perfect day. So those two tournaments, as crazy as it sounds, we're going on the NWT. I look forward to the Governor's Cup and the Throwdown just because. And I'm challenging you two. You two boneheads need to come fish that with us. You showed up last year to watch it.
I am. I'm fishing it. I'm done. I'm in.
I'm pot committed to my friend's memorial tournament at Whitlock's.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I did hear rumors that there might be a weigh-in trailer at Whitlock's this year.
There's a weigh-in trailer at Whitlock's, so you can do both.
Yeah, but I need a guy like you to take me with them because I'm a terrible fisherman, Chad.
Well,
my team for this tournament is Benny Spies, and I don't need to even name the rest of the teammates.
Yeah. Well, there you go. You got it locked in.
Yeah, that tournament is the one thing we have a good chance at winning. Is they do the smallest fish, and we're pretty good running at that.
But you're forgetting beginner's luck.
Yeah,
I'm forgetting. I spend most of my day driving the Rock Banquet on the east side of 212, so Betty, my wife, can cast at bass. That's most of my day. Well, I'm like, I'm going to take this serious. We ran down south from the pontoon. I'm like, we're going to pull. We bottom bounce for a little bit. I'm like, my buddy said, go out here, pull the flats and crankbaits. Both Benny and my wife sat on the couch as soon as I pulled the crankbait rods out like this and wouldn't do anything. So I'm trying to drive the boat and win and put cranks out, and they're both sitting there like this. So I'm like, okay, if a fish hits, you can reel it in. No, this is dumb.
Well, that's the. And, the Governor's Cup, the NWT, all these, you got to put together a really perfect couple days. The AFCO one, you got to get one bite. You got to get one bite.
Yep.
And
it's a lot.
I pray to God it's some guy with a bottom bouncer and a pontoon this year. I just love the thought that that's how it is. And if you're looking to go dip your toes in the tournament world, that's one to go do it where you don't have to be very serious.
I hope like hell somebody doesn't win it pulling a bouncer because I'm not pulling bouncers.
Okay.
That means I'm not going to win it. I'm going to be scoping I'm thinking I'm going to be scoping the whole time. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm not a tournament fishing guy. I fished a few, just the locals like the Hill Brothers tournament, stuff like that. And I'm like, this is too tense for me.
Damn, you look good in that blue truck, that AFCO, because they're giving away a pickup for first place this year.
I drive by that thing all the time. I'm like, boy, I could win that. I could really win that. So I'm going to throw it out.
This? I mean, our second year, I mean, the AFCO I cannot believe the money they pour in to make this event happen out here. And then Jerry Beetle over at Beetle Ford helping us out with that pickup. I mean, that's pretty dang cool. It's fun. Everyone had fun. Jerry's wife fished it last year. I'll throw a shout out to Carrie. I don't think she touched a rod. If she did, she was moving it from one rod holder to the other when it was standing up. It wasn't. And she's like, "This is the greatest fishing tournament ever." And she never put a line in the water. So he was floating around on Mac's pontoon.
The thing that did it for me was I got a peek in the coolers, and I'm like, okay, that's it. Yeah. Because it's not just one, it's not just two. I'm like, there's a chance for everybody out there. And really think about that too. With all of the big fish in Oahe, in the area that I guess if you want to say 212 all the way up to Mobridge, what better opportunity does somebody have to literally catch another 14 pounder? Maybe even we might luck out and get a 15 this year, or who knows, maybe a 12 wins it. But
who cares? Yeah, who cares either way? I did hear some guys throw a little shade towards it. They're like, "Oh, they're killing so many big fish, focusing on that in the tournament." And that's what every tournament does. That's what every tournament does. We focus on big fish. It's not this one alone. They all focus on big fish. And the cool thing about this one is, if it ain't going to win you any money, you look on your phone, you throw it back.
Right.
You don't. The guys bring in 2 8-pounders all the time and don't get nothing with them. They kill them 2 fish for no reason. It happens in this one, obviously, because you don't know. I mean, you can. That's the other cool part. You don't know if you're going to win, but you can look on your phone, and if you got a 6-pounder in your hand and, he don't make no money, you let him go. And it's that easy. And it took me a year. I'm not going to lie. That first time I was like, I'm not really sure. I'm promoting this thing, and I don't even know how it works, but it's really simple. It really is. You go to try to catch a big one, and then we're throwing in categories like 3, 4, 5-pounder. You can win with the closest weight to them. So then you catch that and you got to sweat it, or you're going to give up your over for the day to go check it in to win that prize, which is a substantial prize. And you can win money every 2 hours. It's just it's a cool deal, and it's a great way to take families. And man, we have the grill, we have everything going. I've never done that in a tournament besides when the kids were young, but I mean, it's and that wasn't fun. This is.
Yeah, everybody I talked to that fished it said it's amazing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I guess I'm not a tournament fisherman, but I like to fish. I guess all you have to do is be able to fish.
One thing it didn't stink, but last year there was a lot of guys down in the 212 area down there by Whitlocks, and they would look at the fish and they're like, do I want to make that 25-mile run to go weigh it in? Well, now they're going to have a weigh-in scale there at Whitlocks. So they get to walk across the stage, do everything the same. It's pretty darn cool.
So I'm calling a bluff, you said, because you said Beetle's wife was on McCumsey's boat and she moved a rod to a rod holder. What'd she stick it in one of the subwoofers to hold the rod?
Good call. Good. Hey, don't let the details get in the way of a good story, man. The facts. Don't let the facts get in the way of a good story.
I'm like, Mac does. There's no rod holder. Your rod even went on that boat.
He did put one on. I don't know if you ever threw it out on the side, but yeah.
But yeah, such a great thing for the community of Kaskin. I mean, not to throw shade, but it was kind of like the Walleye Classic and the Gov Cup were the tournaments, and then the Classic has done some of this, and and now it's up there. It was
being nice. It was doing this. It was just slowly fading away, and there's a lot of tournaments, and the Classic was always one of my favorites, but the participation, it's late in the season. You got to have something like the Cup to draw people, and you got to want to be competitive. You don't jump in the Cup to go have fun because you're fishing against the men down there. I mean, they come from a long ways. They don't come because they don't think they can win. They're good when they show up at the Cup. And
I mean, you've kind of got back in the Cup this will be your third year back in 26, right? Because you got in 2 years ago with a guy you barely knew.
A little bit. We're good buddies now, but yeah, he called me out of the blue and asked me if I'd fish it.
But then you went last year and you fished with Sam, and then this year Sam was really mad that she wasn't the first entry, but technically she was.
Yeah.
I got a text at midnight, like, we got entry number 2. I'm like, no, you're number 1. There was a test in there. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. I said, are you getting in first at 8:00 on New Year's night? She goes, you dang right. And I don't think she let 2 minutes go by without, she was on it. Yeah, that's pretty special. That was fun.
And now you gotta beat that boy of yours and get that title. And
we all know fishing. Everybody has their turns, and it's coming. I mean, I pray not. I pray he wins everything from here on out, but we all know reality. That's reality. It doesn't matter. You can be the best angler and have just a run on the bad luck. And but hopefully he has a few he's got a lot of bills. The young he's really putting it out there, and I'm proud of him. He's doing well. He's invested well, and he's doing things smart. But this is a big step. This is an expensive endeavor, and he's going to win some money. He's at the point where he pretty much needs to. He's going to be hungry, and being hungry don't hurt anybody. That's a good thing.
And this was a conversation, when you guys told me you were going to make the run at it, and I'm like, people need to watch out. People need to watch out for, Chad and Bo Schilling, and Bo's going to turn some heads out there, and the comment I kept getting was, well, he's a river guy. He's a reservoir guy. He can fish the reservoirs. What's he going to do on Lake Erie? What's he going to do on the Green Bay? What's he going to do? And I'm like, you're right. Bo is young. He knows the reservoir, but he knows fish.
I'll tell you something. Go ahead.
What people are forgetting is his dad's fished all this stuff, and his dad's got knowledge behind it. And Bo's taking all that knowledge. Don't doubt yourself. Bo ain't listening to dad. He may act like he's not, but he's putting some of that stuff together and putting his plan on top of it. So
Erie's the best place ever for him to dip his toes, because it is what he does here. It's easier. It's a lot easier than what we do here. It really is. I mean, we got to make them bite, but finding them and stuff like that it's a lot easier in open water than it is in the trees, and knowing where the trees are and which ones they use. If I was scared of anything, if I was sending him, it would be Escanaba. And Escanaba, for some reason, I've been blessed there. I think I maybe had one out of the top 10, and that's back when you made a top 10 cut. I don't know that I ever didn't make the top 10 at Escanaba. And so it gets Gladstone, but same area there. And Ocano can be so fickle. I mean, if the bite is terrible at Ocano, the locals they're way ahead of us. But if that bite's firing at Ocano, then we're gonna be pretty good. So, and we're not in June, thank God.
Yeah. Not when the AOI hatch.
Yeah.
We got a couple questions come in. Danny wants to know, would you rather catch a 15-pound walleye or kill a 200-inch whitetail?
This sounds terrible, but I got to go with the whitetail. I do. I've been. Yeah.
He wants to know who this little bull kid is. You're going to know soon enough, Mark.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. I wish they didn't know each other so well, to be honest.
DraftKings says Bo is I mean, that's the thing. Like, that's what other people don't understand is, Bo has been around these guys his entire life, right? Mark Kortz and Tommy Kimos and Shakirik, and the list goes on and on. I mean, since he could walk, he's known these guys.
Yeah. One of the funny stories, Jason Shakirik was sleeping in Bo's bedroom, which is right behind me here. And it was after the good old days of the Classic when they had the dance and everything. And Jay may have been a little slow that morning. I'm not going to say one way or the other, but he wakes up to Bo jumping on the mattress, staring at him. And I mean, Bo was like 3 or 4, and he goes, "Hey," and Bo goes, "Why are you in my bed?" And then he just starts jumping again. And well, your dad let me stay here, but why are you in my bed?
Yeah. I mean, so he's got a ton of knowledge, that is out there that he can pick brains of, right? I mean, none of those guys are going to let anybody go out there and struggle,
We've made so many good friends, and that is the cool thing about it. I mean, we've got a lot of great friends in the walleye industry and around the country, and he can get whatever he wants. He just pay it back. That's what I ask him to do. Be a good person. It's really easy to be a good person. You got to put an effort to be a a-hole. Be a good person and have fun. And man, the cards will fall where they do.
100%. So one last thing to let you go. What is your prediction? What do you think this season's going to look like for the Schilling boys?
We're going to have a good time. We set our goals high. I want to, first and foremost, we're going to set it low and we're going to make it to next year's season. We got to make I love that. I love that new, let's put some prestige in the game like it used to be back in the old days. Let's have I don't know how big their field's going to be. I guess I didn't pay too close attention if they're going to do is it a 100-boat field next year? We got to make that first. You got to make top 45 or whatever it is.
I've heard 60-ish.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. We got to start there. Get so we can play next year. And obviously we got big goals, but I mean, that's just being confident in what we do and enjoying it. I don't know that anybody's going to work harder. I really don't. We're going to put in the effort.
Yeah. I mean, it's just it. You're going to put in a ton of effort. I know Bo is, as long as you can get him to practice his zone of the lake. Unlike
I told him there's two things I'm not doing. I'm not trying to keep up with you driving there. And I'm not going to be upset when you cover all of Lake Erie in 2 days because he's I don't know where he's going to get fuel 7 times, but he very likely will have every inch of the boundary. And it's going to be so fun to watch.
He's looking at gas station locations.
He is too. Yeah. Yeah. No, it's I'm pretty proud of him. I mean, well, proud of both my kids. I mean, Sam's going to be here. Sam's going to be running my guide boat most of the time while I'm gone. And for a young gal she grew up doing it, but she's got some anxiety. She gets excited and she runs it like an old pro now. She still deals just like Bo does when you're guiding elderly people. They really wonder if you know what you're doing, but it doesn't take long. And they've all known my kids forever anyway. So yeah, Sam's going to step up and carry a big load here. And then on top of it, I guess you guys probably aren't aware of this, we're building a bait shop, C-store, little bar here in town on top of all this year. So
you guys, huh?
Yeah, we are. We have property on Main Street that we bought when me and my wife first moved to town. And convenience C-store is the main goal. It's just something we're kind of lacking in town. You want a dozen eggs, you got to drive 30 miles to get a dozen eggs or whatever. And we're going to have bait. We're not gouging people. You can come buy your bottle of water. Small towns tend to try to, they got you there. They think, well, that's not a very good philosophy when you can stop 7 places on the way here. So we're going to make it very affordable, reasonable. We're not looking to get rich on the deal. It's going to be a huge convenience to the town. And we're going to run old man hours on that. We're going to be open from 6 every morning till 8 at night. You want to stay out later than that? There's a lot of places to go do it. We wish you the best, but
and I think that's the part of the reason, and I get it, right? We all understand that Cabela, Shields, whoever gets better buys because they buy in bulk, but I think that's the death to the little bait shops, right? The mom and pop bait shops. We used to have Carl's Bait Shop back in the day. We used to have all these places, and we don't because everybody can stop 7 places. And when you're trying to charge $5 more for a flicker shad than they are at, Cabela's,
You can't gouge people twice anymore. You know what I mean? You gouge them once, they won't even be mad because you'll never see them again. And we understand that. It's just going to be nice to roll in, every day to our own little place, and we're going to call it Schillings. Me and my daughter went through 100 names on Chat GPT trying to come up with something, and I was like, why don't we do Schillings? And she's like, why wasn't that our first name? We both just looked at each other like, why wasn't that our first pick? But
Awesome.
So look for that on Main Street of Akaska this year. And Shonda needed more to do. She just doesn't have a lot going on.
She sits back in the recliner all day while you're out working. I know. Yep.
While I'm talking to you, she's thatching our front yard. That's why I keep looking up and going, oh man, here I am.
So
I'm glad you were doing that. I never thought that I would miss the tavern as much as I do. Stay out of the gym while you're up there. Like that and Frank's, right? I mean, I don't come to Casca that often, but but I miss both of those places. I miss sitting talking to Frank, and I miss going to the tavern. So it'll be nice that you guys are starting that. Thank you for doing that, by the way.
Yeah, it'll be our pleasure. Heck, that's where I got my start. Don Palmer hired me up in Jed's Landing when I was not old enough to be driving the pickup. I was driving to work every morning. But I was a bait boy. I mean, that's what I did. And I couldn't wait to do anything else when I was growing up, that and guide fishermen, and so I'll have a spot when these guys all say I'm washed up now. We're going to prove them wrong for a few years. And then I'll be able to sit there at my own little C-store and tell stories how good I was.
Yeah.
Oh, well, and hang the trophies and all.
Yeah.
We got a comment. I think it'd be a good name too.
Uh-oh. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That one's good.
We thought about it. It was definitely one of the top ones. So we're going to give it his last name. How's that sound?
Yeah, I love the last name thing. I think that's a great idea.
Schillings, and it's going to be there forever. And I mean, I cut my teeth. I was sleeping in the back of Shantz's bait shop when I was a kid. In the old, he knows it as a Casca Tavern. I know it as Shantz's bait shop.
That's right. Yep.
I mean, I don't know how many nights my dad would sit out front and drink, and I'd be sleeping on a office chair or a bed. I don't remember what I slept on the back of Shantz's back in the day. So, it's gonna be great to have another lasting legacy in that town. And you guys, I can't think of a better people to run it.
So yeah, look us up. We'll do our best to make sure everybody, when they come to town, they don't have to stop somewhere at 4 a.m. to get something. We're going to try to have everything. The plan is now to have the minnows outside. That way, if you get there and we're not there, we're not going to throw shame. They can get their minnows, and so you don't have to sit around. And if you want to go fishing at 5:30 in the morning, you're just nuts anyway. But I mean, you sure can grab your minnows this way.
So is breakfast going to be there in the morning?
We're working our way towards that. We're going to have rolls, maybe some breakfast sandwiches and stuff to start. The food will get worked towards, not a main goal, though. We hope there's other places. The Sportsman and stuff does a great job in town, and he does full meals and stuff like that. Our goal is to never get there. So it's probably going to happen. We keep getting past a lot of people saying they want to see, a couple things on the menu, but it'll be it's going to be simple. We're going to keep it. We're going to do my method and keep it simple and make it just a little bit more convenient to come to a Casca.
Well, I think we're going to need to get your wife on a podcast and ask Chad keeps it simple, stupid, because you got a lot of moving parts going on up there at Casca.
We do have a lot going on, and that's what keeps it going. It's fun. It's a good time. We love what we do. My one line I tell every customer we have: if you have as much fun doing this shit as we do doing it, then you're going to have a successful trip, because we love what we do.
You guys do. So, guys, if you want to go on a guided trip, look up Wings and Walleyes out of a Casco, Chad and his crew. As long as it's not over an MWT event, you might get Chad or Bo.
Well, I'm skipping most of the O'Connell practice to fish the throwdown. That was one thing that didn't work out so good. The throwdowns. Oh yeah. So I'm going to get cut short there. We're going to count on Bo to burn a little extra gas on that practice.
Well, don't worry. He's got you.
Yeah.
No, you shouldn't have said that. You shouldn't have said that, because now he's going to expect you to pay for a tank or two.
Yeah. Oh, trust me. I'll be hearing that. Yeah.
If you're there or not, he's going to burn the same amount.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah.
But great to have you on, Chad. Appreciate you jumping on with us tonight. I'm hoping to have you and Bo on later again this year after a big W, maybe a first, second again. And good luck, and we'll be watching you guys. Oh, see, Bo's got to kick in.
Yeah,
there it is. Thanks, Chad.
Hey, guys.
Thank you.
So much.
Good luck to you. Thank you much.
Appreciate you more.